I'm already embarrassed that I wore this shirt. Like, yeah, purple looks good on you. And as I'm walking up, they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. I appreciate you guys being here. We've made it this far to another show. I'm happier than Nancy Grace learning about a child abduction. She really is an awful, unfuckable Eileen Warmos looking woman. I hope this show is a success, really, because let's be honest, there's not many stops left for the kid. I need this show to be a big success so I can finally make it, and then a few years later, I'll be fucking groveling for some sidewalk slur I yelled at paparazzi. It's amazing how we seem to I don't know what is this culture we've gotten into. We really seem to enjoy people getting in trouble and then groveling, and we talk about it a lot, and Jonah Hill is the latest, I'm not going to say victim of this, but look, Jonah Hill's not a homophobe. I think everyone can agree the guy's not homophobic. Paparazzi was hassling him, and Jonah Hill said, suck my dick, you faggot. Which, all right, that's a rotten thing to yell at somebody if they're taking too long making your latte. But if there's a guy hassling you with a camera and invading your space and insulting you, all bets are off. It's like, what kind of culture are we that we now judge the guy for what he yells and not the scumbag harassing him with the camera? It's like we're a nation of hall monitors. We like to watch people snap so we can feel victimized by what they say. We just like to poke people. Poke, 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 poke. And then if they're like, get the fuck away from me, we're like, ooh, ooh, you said the F word. Ooh. And everyone's affected, I think, by social media. It's not just Jonah Hill or celebrities. The American Nazi Party, it turns out, is social media conscious. They're grammar Nazis. This is an actual tweet that they sent out. They wrote, it really isn't that difficult to use correct spelling and grammar. Be professional and disciplined in everything that you do for the cause. Which, it's nice to know they're afraid of looking ridiculous, but if you want to not look like assholes, you might want to stop goose-stepping like you have shit in your pants. Although I guess spelling is really important because you're not going to get much done tweeting. We have to get rid of all the jaws and noggers. And speaking of Donald Sterling, I don't particularly like the guy. I don't, I think he's a jizzbag. But I don't like what happened to him either. I mean, private moments have to remain private between you and whoever's on the other side of the glory hole. I wish I could have caught Donald Sterling in a better way. This doesn't feel satisfying to get a guy saying racist shit to his girlfriend. Wouldn't it be so much more satisfying if they had caught him, in a pedophile sting? Wouldn't that just feel much better if he's like, ooh, I can't wait to fuck all these kids. Ooh, I can't wait. But no black ones. I won't fuck any black ones. Only white ones. Then we could all go, oh, he's a racist. He's obviously just an out-of-touch old man. And I do think he's a racist. I don't think he was misunderstood. But I mean, why are we putting so much weight on what an 80-year-old man says? When's the last time you gave a shit about anything an 80-year-old man says? I tune them out immediately. When I was your age, fucking die already. I'm bored. But as a culture, as a society, we say whoa, I love old people because they have no filter. I love no filter. Well, do we want no filter or do we want filtered? Because sometimes unfiltered, it's not always going to be cute shit that we hear. Grandpa we like when he's unfiltered because he's cute. Grandpa comes out of the restroom and he's got a little spot on the front of his pants, and Grandpa will say anything, and we're like, Grandpa, you got a spot on your pants, and Grandpa says something like, oh, I must have put the damn thing back too quick, and we're like, oh, he'll say anything, But if Grandpa comes out of the bathroom, there's a lot of blacks in the bathroom, we're like, Tommy Lasorda is a good friend. If you guys remember Tommy Lasorda, he was the manager of the Dodgers for many years. He's 86 and stopped giving a fuck a long time ago. And he's an honest old man, and he was being interviewed, and he's known Donald Sterling for 35 years. And they mentioned it, and Tommy Lasorda went, I wasn't surprised at all to hear Donald say that stuff. Now, if you're Donald Sterling, the last thing you want is your friends going on television saying, nah, I wasn't surprised at all. That's the nicest shit I've heard him say in a long time. And then Tommy Lasorda said, I have no problem with that girlfriend of his, but I hope she gets hit with a car. Which I thought was so funny that he fucked up it's get hit by a car. You don't get hit with a car. I hope somebody picks up a car and beats that bitch over the head with it. And his girlfriend is not exactly nice for tape recording him without his knowledge. But it's hard to feel bad for this guy, because he's acting like a wounded 13-year-old schoolboy. He's got that fucking parrot voice of his. He's like, I thought she liked me. Ah! You're 80. She's 35. Dummy, she's fucking you for your money. And I'm not even knocking that arrangement. That encourages me to work hard and be successful. Nothing wrong with that. But don't delude yourself into thinking she likes your stupid, silly, putty dick jammed into her. She's hanging out with world-class athletes, but you're the guy she wants to, I hope you like it slow. And then he just has dementia and stops, and she just goes, Donald! Ah! But in fairness, I mean, the NBA, it's a business. Like, what are they supposed to do? Like, how are they supposed to react? I mean, there's a lot of black players, obviously, a lot of black fans, and I wouldn't blame players for not wanting to play for a known racist, too bad this wasn't golf. We would have lost one good guy. Don't bring any blacks to the golf course, believe me, nobody wants to come. That fucking ghoul, Adam Silver, could they have gotten a bigger ghoul to be in charge of the NBA? I think he just fucking rose up out of a coffin at that press conference. That was so awful. It was like, as soon as the sun went down, he was like, blah, we're going to ban him for life. Blah. Oh, fuck Donald Sterling. I mean, I don't want it to, be like I feel bad for him. He's just, again, he was saying this shit to his half-black girlfriend. That's how out of touch he was with anything appropriate. I mean, how do you not like Magic Johnson? Unless you're a Celtics fan, how do you think Magic Johnson is an asshole? And this guy's like, oh yeah, you can admire Magic Johnson, feed him and fuck him, just don't put him on Instagram. Wait, you're encouraging her to fuck Magic Johnson? Donald, perhaps you haven't heard. That's the last guy you should be encouraging her to fuck. Let her fuck Kobe or LeBron and then put on an oven mitt and jerk Magic off into the sink. He really looked bad in that Anderson Cooper interview, too. What a fucking lousy... Jerry Sandusky did a better job of damage control. I just like to touch them in the shower and smile. Donald Sterling's a billionaire. He's not used to having to explain himself. Like, that's why he's so bad at follow-up questions. He's used to saying something and people react. And if you go, what do you mean by that? He's like, rah, rah. And Anderson Cooper interviewed him, and Sterling was just awful because he started attacking Magic again for no reason. He's like, they're talking, all of a sudden he goes, and what has Magic Johnson done that's so good? Now, if you're Anderson Cooper, your interviewer dick goes, because you have to be thinking, this fucking idiot is not going to attack Magic again. So Anderson Cooper goes, well, he started a lot of businesses, and then Donald Sterling just blurts out, he's got AIDS! That's the greatest example of an old man blurting shit out you will ever hear. And you expect to hear an old man saying that, like wearing a hospital gown with his ass hanging out the back. He's got AIDS! He's putting it in my Jell-O. His AIDS are in my Jell-O. Wow, you guys are a good crowd, man. I really do appreciate you coming tonight, and we have a great show for you. We have Whitney Cummings, who's a good friend of mine and very, very funny.